And you know, Jones, this drug case, which is possession of marijuana case in 1968, it's 4 years ago, and it was planted, and the surgeon who actually came to arrest us is now suspended from his previous job.
He also
because,
did the same to George Harrison.
You know, there's some question about his method of arrest. And they're all saying, and the immigration office saying, well, this is only because of the drug case, you know, and nothing else. But the strange thing is people like Donovan, Keith Richard, Mick Jagger,
George Harrison all have exactly the same
exactly the same record around the same time, and they can come and
same
go,
policeman,
you know,
I think, you know.
anytime
So what
they
is it
can.
It was. He was a headhunter.
Policeman.
What
and
is it
the
they're
policeman,
after you for? Or should
They're
we talk about
they're
that
after
later?
us because we talk about
Outspoken.
peace, you know. I mean,
Outspoken.
because we want peace, you know. We've said the same thing for 2 years, different way, one way or another, and we believe in it.
The only thing we promoted was peace and love, and there have been some rumors like we might go to San Diego to, you know, disrupt the
We're getting blamed for the Chicago
Republican
convention now.
things like that.
It's no kidding.
Chicago.
When we approach people for help, somebody somewhere rings them up and says, these people are criminals. If we were given a job on the Drug Abuse Council to help people try and explain drugs in a realistic way to kids, because nobody else is doing it, then immediately we got the offer. Somebody rings up the people that offered us and say, what are you letting those criminals on for? Don't you know the this, that, and the other? Don't you know the... And somebody else rings up and starts talking about they had something to do with Chicago. And the first time we'd ever heard of Chicago is we saw a play of it done on British TV. That's the first time I'd ever heard.
Because we were
They
in
think we're going
England
to
at
San
that
Diego or
time.
Miami, wherever it is. We've never said we're going. We ain't going.
We're
There'll be
not
no big
going.
jam with us and Dylan because there's too much going on. We never said we were going. That's it.
There was an editorial in the Times the other day, and I know there have been in other papers,
that was great, yeah.
which I completely agree with. I mean, I think it's shocking if you're being deported, and it's ironic that it would happen in the same year that Chaplin was given an award after 20 years after a similar kind of nonsense.
You're more
But I mean-
responsible for the expression of love and peace in the arts than anyone practically in the 20th century.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Well,
Let me try
anyway,
and get this one over here. You see, this is a bit hard for me to explain, but our lawyer's name is Leon Wilds, and he's not a radical lawyer, he's not a William Kunstler, or nothing like that. We went to an immigration lawyer who knew about immigration, and he has really been surprised, because he worked in immigration 15 years. He's really been surprised by some of the things that have gone on. And it's very ironic that the government approved our application as outstanding artists whose presence is beneficial to U.S. cultural interests and the public welfare. The federal judge has approved that, and the government has, but we had to fight for it. And it's the only time that he's ever had to go to court to force the government to consider an application like that, obtained by an injunction, meaning that as one way for us to come in is as outstanding artists or scientists. There's a special clause. Now, we put that in our case, and nobody looked at it. And it's the law that they have to look at the application. They didn't look at it, and our lawyer went down and said, you haven't looked at it. So he took them to court. And the judge and the federal judge said, they have to look at it, and they have to take this into consideration. Yes, they are outstanding artists, and would be a benefit to this country. And it's the only time he's had to go in and fight for it.
Also, you know,
Well,
if there are
But, just
anybody who's interested in helping us, petition does help too. And we have about 10,000 people roughly.
there was
now
a
in
telegram
petition,
from a
but
union leader.
Oh, yeah. You want to mention it?
well,
It's
Oh, yes,
great,
could
you know.
you?
We've run into another station problem here. We have to take a message. We'll be back. Just quickly, it's interesting that the support for this is growing and does not just represent what you might call one kind of person or something. This is a telegram that should interest you. Immigration and Naturalization Service it's addressed to. It would be an outrage and a tragedy for this country if John Lennon and Yoko Ono are deported. Their strong anti-drug stand and their clear, eloquent commitment to nonviolence and to participation in action for constructive social change are messages badly needed in America today, particularly for our youth. He goes on to say about the personal tragedy that Mrs. Lennon is forced into by choosing between her husband and her child. I join thousands of other concerned Americans in asking you to take favorable action enabling John Lennon and Yoko Ono to remain in this country. Signed, Leonard Woodcock, President, United Auto Workers.
Right on, Leonard.
Yeah. Here's a